Alright, so Monday morning back in the kitchen, about to go ahead and make some breakfast before I get some other stuff done, but I'm heading out again today. Yes, I know, third week in a row I'll be traveling. I'll be in Seattle all week. Kind of let you guys follow along with the trip, but I'm here and I'm about to make some good old bagel sandwiches. So don't just let the time of day dictate if you can have a sandwich or not. Sandwiches should be good at any time. It doesn't. Alright, so outside the gym, it's about an hour and a half after I ate again. All I had was a bagel and 2 whole eggs, which is kind of good. And I haven't actually been eating a ton these days, only because with traveling, typically I eat a lot of foods that are very heavy, and the fact that I'm not training could lead to me getting very fat. But in fact, it's been interesting because as you guys saw in Chicago, I didn't actually eat hardly anything. I wasn't even getting like 3 good meals per day in. So I've been losing a little bit of weight, probably too fast, and I'm not really too worried about it either way, even though right now I don't even look like I lift, just because next week I'll be back full force. I'm probably actually going to start using my FitnessPal, something I haven't been using in months. So really kind of get back in the swing of things. But something that I wanted to address, only because everyone seems to be talking about it in the comment section, is this whole thing with me and Omar. Now, I will say I am fine with every single YouTuber out there. There's nobody that I hold a grudge against, no ill will on my part, and I think Omar would say the same. I believe everything's been cleared up, but just to kind of make peace, I want to dedicate this next song to Omar. And if you guys know this already just by the couple beats, I feel sorry for you. Maybe? Picking it up? Oh. So we got not only Justin Bieber, who is Canadian, so extending the olive branch to Omar, but Nicki Minaj, who also quashes the other thing that my comment caused quite a stir on. So a little beauty and the beat. So in this case, I would say Omar is the beauty because let's face it, he has long, luscious hair, and I would be beat, literally, both from my responses and my lifting and my aesthetics. But I'm pretty sure this song is going to get this video flagged. And on a side note, for anyone wondering, maybe I shouldn't even mention it, but I do have this on my iPod. Interesting choice. But this is perfect because this music gets me going. I'm talking visibly excited, like I'm at least pushing 2 inches right now. Before this, I'm actually gonna go in and deadlift. Again, just kind of try to warm up to this new program I'm going to be on. I'll kind of give you guys more information as the days go on, but I wanna get a feel for it, and I think a deload week is the perfect opportunity to do that, just because I don't wanna jump into any new program and go full force, only because I'm not sure how my body is going to react, and at my age, that's something to take into consideration. So, I'm gonna go ahead and listen to the rest of this Justin Bieber and Nicki Minaj song, and you guys are going to see me in the gym in the next clip. Alright, so first things first, I'm using the built-in microphone on my laptop because, again, in Seattle, I didn't feel like bringing a big-ass microphone on the plane. Starting today with some broad jumps. Now, the other day we did box jumps. Today, broad jumps, and this really ties into being more explosive, more athletic, like I've talked about. However, I haven't done these literally since I was in, like, elementary school. We did 4 sets of 3 to begin, just trying to go as far as possible. But again, this is something I'm hoping I can really improve upon. But figured I'd go ahead and show you the first set here of 4 that I did. We then moved on to block pulls. Now, only using really about a 3.5 to 4 inch block in this case, just the bumper plate 45s. Did sets of 5, just really wanted to work light and work on technique. One of the things that we're going to be playing around a little bit with is the bar placement, and what I mean by that is we're going to try to bring the bar out in front a little bit more. That way I'm bending my knees more, getting lower, and thus in turn should help with some of the rounding in my lower back. Now here's some side views so you guys can see. Each set I jumped up 90 pounds, so first set was 135, here you're seeing 225. And I'm really taking my time in between each pull because I'm really trying to force myself into a strong position. However, this doesn't really feel comfortable for me. It's going to take some time getting used to. Also, ankle mobility is something I'm going to want to improve with this if I'm going to actually keep this bar placement going forward. You see the next set at 315. And some of these felt really good. Well, I'm lying a little bit. They all felt really good because anytime you get into it, start doing it, especially get it on film, it always feels good. But does it look good? That's where I struggle. And in some of these it does, and some of these it doesn't. Here you see my last work instead of 405, and as the weight gets heavier, this is more where I see the hitch, and to me what I mean is coming forward a bit before pulling, so I want as smooth a motion as possible, but overall, like I said, this felt fairly good. Now from there we moved on to deficit pulls, and this is the homemade deficit stand that Dick Diamond helped me out with. So Dick Diamond provided the wood for this, literally. And for this I didn't go overly heavy again. These are sets of 6. I only did 3, 225, 275, and then 315. And these felt fairly good. I didn't go too heavy, but one of the things I'm noticing here, obviously I'm not able to keep my back as straight, but it's better than it's been in the past. But also check out my heels. So they're coming off the board a little bit. So again, going into the whole ankle flexibility, this is not only going to help when it comes to deadlifting with this further out bar placement, but also obviously squats. So definitely something to take note of here. And again, you see my last working set at 315. Really trying to throw my hips in, as you can probably tell. I don't have the best or biggest booty, but I'm really trying to drive my glutes through here. You'll hear this as a common cue a lot of times with deadlifts, where people say hips, 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 because once it gets around to my knees, that's where I'm really trying to push it through. Now from there, what we did is we moved on to front squats. Now I did about 5 sets of these in total, I believe, but I only kept it at 135, kept light. I didn't bring my squat shoes, so I wanted to play around with having flat shoes. And actually I thought these went pretty good. Now obviously as I get heavier, one of the issues I have with front squats is again keeping my rack in place, but that's something again that I'll kind of play with as the time goes. Overall, I must say I was pretty happy with the depth on these in the form, kind of going in line with what I've been talking about, despite the fact, as in no mobility typically in my hips or my ankles. Finally, we went on with stiff-legged deficits. Just a couple sets of 10 here, didn't go overly heavy, really trying to feel that stretch in my hamstrings. They're actually pretty tight from the glute ham raises the other day, so I didn't want to knock it out of the park. Not to mention I had to go ahead and basically travel all day on the plane, so I didn't want my legs to be sore as shit, because that would be extremely uncomfortable considering I literally have to fly across country. So that was it. That was for the workout today. You can always find out more if you follow me in Falcracy, which is linked below.
What's up everybody, welcome back. Brennan again in my kitchen. It's about 10:20 or so. So in roughly an hour I'm gonna leave, head to the airport. However, I still need to eat. Need to get that post-workout meal in. It's been probably about half an hour since I left the gym, so all gains are already lost, but I still need to shower and I need to pack. I haven't done any of that, but luckily enough, I'm pretty good at doing things fast. Just ask my Beyonce. Speaking of my Beyonce, last night she came over and she hooked it up on the food front. So she made both some barbecue chicken, as you guys can see right here, and you probably saw on Instagram, really good because she overloaded it with chicken, as well as some artichoke, mushroom, and banana pepper pizza. So definitely looking forward to having some of that post-workout. It's a nice mid-morning snack. Now the problem is as I've already alluded to in the beginning of the video, my actual activity level has been fairly low. Haven't been training hard, if at all, not even heavy. And as well as that, traveling a lot and staying in airplanes and sitting in the office, taxis, all sorts of things. I haven't been overly active, so I haven't been eating as much. And it sucks because definitely some of this pizza is going to go to waste, only because my roommate is self-diagnosed gluten-free. Yeah, of course, no celiac disease, but he just thinks he's gluten-free. That's another story. But I'm gonna be gone for the week, so this is not going to keep, and I have to watch my girlish figure as bikini season is here in Rhode Island, and I do not look that good in a banana hammock. There's a lot of banana, but the pale, pasty thighs and non-aesthetics are definitely kind of derailing that whole thought train. I do have my buddies with me, of course. You got the boy Howard. Howard? The star of the show. Look at this monster. What did you do? He has a little nub, and as you can see, it is wiggling a little bit. And of course, most girls like when you can wiggle the nub. And of course, Mako in his normal spot over there. He stays away unless he hears something drop on the floor, which doesn't happen too often. But they're both keeping watch just in case. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat this food, and I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. All right, so all packed and ready to go. As you can see, I got the big bag this time, just because I'm going all week, not to mention I'm gonna be training at the gym, so I gotta make sure I pack all my gym equipment. Luckily, the way it works out, I don't have to squat, so I don't have to bring my squat shoes, and the fact that it's kind of still a deload week for me, I don't have to bring my belt either because I'm going to be working on strengthening my core. But you can see my room itself, it's pretty clean. I always like to make sure that it is fairly clean before I leave anywhere. PS4 is collecting dust, haven't played anything like that, but luckily when I get home, I believe The Last of Us is coming out remastered on PS4, which is good because I never picked it up on PS3. Just finishing up a little bit of work on here, and then of course we're going to be heading out. So I got my backpack on with these weird strappy things across the chest, which I don't know why anyone uses, but gonna hit the road, gonna hit the airport, and hopefully we'll see you next in Seattle. All right, so back in the airport, kind of similar to last week. I think I'm actually wearing the same outfit, minus the hat is a little bit different. But I got a little bit wild before I catch my flight, so I got some things. I got some of these Icebreakers Duos. I had the sour watermelons, but the Beyonce eats those things literally like candy, and they're supposed to be mints, at least in my opinion. So just eats them and chews them right away, where I, of course, like to suck on them. Which brings up an interesting question. I know a lot of people that just like to chew these things right away. And again, eat them literally like candy, which a strong argument could be made for. So let me know in the description box below which you do. I, of course, got some protein. So we got some all-natural beef jerky. Hippie approved. Probably not. And then, of course, I did get some smart water as well, because based off some of my recent commentary, I might need to up my IQ game. It was interesting going through the gate check this time. As you guys know, they do the body scans here. I actually got patted down this time, which was more action than I've seen in a while since I've been traveling so much and haven't seen the Beyonce. But it was interesting only because they really wanted to pat down my left arm only, which again is surprising because I'm right-handed, and the right hand and right arm is the one that sees all the normal action on these trips. So it's very interesting. Maybe I'm making all kinds of gains, but flight leaves in a little bit, so we're going to check in and check out and literally just kind of skim through the iPad, see what movies I have. I updated it, and maybe I'll show you guys if I remember, which I probably won't. But in the meantime, we'll check in with you, hopefully in Seattle, unless there's any other issues. All right, so I'm finally in Seattle. It is 9 o'clock Seattle time, 12 o'clock my time on the East Coast, and this lighting makes me look very pale, and I'm not a big fan of that, but I'm in my bathroom. I'm here in my room, obviously. I just got in. One of the first things I did, in this case, I actually have the 2 queen-size beds again. That's all they had available. I got some room service, as I did last time when I got in Chicago right away, just because this is a lot easier than going down and ordering food, especially because I'm just ready to go to bed. I'm going to show you what I got. I got a Cobb salad. I love Cobb salads. It's chicken, there's some eggs, some black olives, there's some bacon buried under there somewhere. I got the blue cheese dressing on the side, a nice glass of water. I'm actually answering up a couple of emails from you guys. You guys have seen this hotel probably plenty of times. Actually, I think out of the 8 or 9 times I've been to Seattle within the last year or so, I think I've stayed at this hotel all but one time. I think I stayed at the Westin the other time, I'm not sure. I like this one because, like I said, it's right next to the baseball stadium, the football stadium. I usually like to go to a couple games. Not to mention, it's probably the closest hotel to my actual office. But that being said, one of the downsides is the fact that you travel, you build up a lot of points, whether it be frequent flyer miles on airplanes, car rental services, and typically hotels. The problem is I'm building up a lot of points at this particular hotel, but it's only in Washington and Oregon State. So that doesn't really do me any good if I'm not in those 2 states. So I think going forward I might start staying at like a Hilton or a Marriott. I'm not really too sure. Didn't have the availability to pick one this time. I'm looking real small, skinny. Trap game on point. Can't really tell here. I'm looking skinny. Maybe it's just because I'm doing such a wide angle. Let me zoom in a little bit. That there bicep peak. That's the one that they searched that I mentioned earlier. So maybe that's why. Unnatty gains. Checking in, and no, I have not started taking BioGrow yet. Or will I? Probably ever. But I'm going to go ahead and get to my food because I'm hungry, and then I'm probably going to go to bed, and I'm going to be working. So I'm going to try to maybe go to a different gym this time while I'm here. I don't know if that's going to be possible or not. I emailed and called a few gyms, and none of them got back to me, so that's never a good sign. The other gym I normally go to, Seattle Fitness, while I like it and it's close, it's kind of small, and they also don't let me bring even a cell phone in. They say you can't even have any kind of electronic equipment on that you can touch, so can't use a camera in that case. But anyways, I'm rambling, which means it's time for bed, so we will check you guys later. This is day 1 in Seattle, in the books. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching, and stay big. Cue the outro.